Hello everyone, how's it going? Well, in this video, we'd like to bring to you an overview about 3 popular stereotypes which are lasting in 3 different countries: America, Japan, and Vietnam. My group consists of 5 members. My name is Phan Thị Kiều Linh, and I will introduce you about the definitions of 5 terms: stereotype, bias, prejudice, discrimination, and racism. And next, Hữu Đạt, Hương Giang, and Khánh Linh will take the turn to discuss 3 common stereotypes. The first one, Hữu Đạt will talk about the stereotype which is African Americans are just burglars and delinquents so that they cannot be successful. Meanwhile, the stereotype about Japanese people are short will be presented by Hương Giang. And Khánh Linh will talk about the last stereotype, which is in Vietnam, hymen decides women's virtues. Finally, at the end of the video, Nhật Lệ will draw a conclusion about those stereotypes and propose some solutions for this. Besides, she will talk about what we have got after studying cross-cultural communication. Alright, so firstly, let's come with me and find out what stereotype, bias, prejudice, discrimination, and racism means. First, stereotype. According to Cambridge Dictionary, stereotype is a set idea that people have about what someone or something is like, especially an idea that is wrong. For example, boy cannot wear pink, or a girl cannot run a business. Second, what is bias means? According to Cambridge Dictionary, bias is the act of supporting or opposing a particular person or thing in an unfair way, because of allowing personal opinions to influence your judgment. Third, prejudice. Prejudice is an unsatisfied or incorrect attitude towards an individual based solely on the individual's membership of a social group. For example, a person may hold prejudiced views towards a certain race, region, or gender. Fourth, discrimination. Discrimination is the act of prejudice against a person because they have a certain set of characteristics. Discriminated characteristics can include disability, age, gender reassignment, regions, race, sex, and sexual orientation. And the last definition is racism. Racism is the belief that a particular race is superior or inferior to another, that a person's social and moral traits are predetermined by his or her inborn biological characteristics. Racial separatism is the belief, most of the time based on racism, that different races should remain segregated and apart from one another.
Hi, it's that as you've just listened to Kiều Linh part, I believe you have an overall understanding of several terms about which we'll talk today, especially stereotypes. So in our part, Giang, I and Khánh Linh will talk more about 3 stereotypes around the world, which we believe is quite popular. Each part is expected to show you answers to a number of questions, which are: what are these stereotypes? Where do they come from? And are they 100% true? As well as some examples and evidence for what we say. So in my part, I will talk about a stereotype which quite popularly exists in the US, which is African Americans are just burglars and delinquents, so that they cannot be successful. I was quite shocked the first time seeing this on the internet because I think success and crime have no connection to the skin color. It turns out the white Americans think it does. According to a post I read on the New York Times, the author pointed out the stereotype by citing quotes from a book named Suspicious Nation, written by Lisa Bloom. The author points out why whites can and do commit a great deal of minor and major crimes. The race as a whole is never tainted by those acts. But when blacks violate the law, all members of the race are considered suspect. She further says, in one study, 60% of viewers who viewed a crime story with no picture of perpetrator falsely recalled seeing one, and of those, 70% believe he was African American. When we think about crime, we see black, even when it's not present at all. But why? I have looked for information on the internet and found this chart on Wikipedia. It shows the likelihood of going to prison in percentages for various demographic groups in the United States. You can see that the percentage of black males going to jails is higher compared to white males, and the same is true for females. Sadly, the existence of the stereotype is quite reasonable. Therefore, I started wondering if this is totally true. Later on, I found a study of understanding racial and ethnic disparities in arrest on the internet. The author conducted results from a survey in which analyzed the arrested and delinquent rates among some groups of people, including white and black Americans. You can see that more than 2/3 of the black respondents have never been arrested, which is only 10% lower than the white ones. This is a really good sign to show that not all African Americans are delinquents. Moreover, you can see the percentages of having delinquent behaviors between them are quite the same. Some are even lower in that of the blacks, such as property crime and youth delinquency. Well, if you consider these statistics are not convincing enough, then I will show you an example of a well-known man who is no criminal or burglar, Barack Obama. According to this website, he is the 44th President of the United States and won the position for 2 terms in a row. However, in another interview of life before his presidency, he admitted to dabble in drugs and alcohol. And there's an online website posting of times he broke the laws. I suppose you can understand that these are for political reasons, so we cannot judge him by that. Moreover, though he did use drugs and alcohol, he has committed no crime, so he is no burglar and delinquent, as what the stereotype says. I believe. So we need to stop stereotyping black people, as there's no benefit of doing that. Before we move to the next stereotype with them, I would like to leave you a question to think of. What do you think of black people when seeing them for the first time? Let me know by commenting down below. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Zhang, and now I will talk about the stereotype of short Japanese. When we mention about Japanese, there are many things come up to our mind, like they are very intelligent, they are extremely polite and punctual. Besides that, another stereotype that sticks to Japanese is short Japanese or little Japanese. Many people think that Asians are short, especially Japanese. Historically, Asians generally have a shorter height than Westerners, considering in the same area among Asians. History has recorded the modest height of Japanese since World War II. So when they refer to Japanese, they often call them a rude phrase, short Japanese. And up till now, this stereotype still remains in America, Vietnam, and some other countries without any evidence. Anyway, this stereotype is only true in the past and is no longer exactly anymore. According to the documents published by the New York Times in 1950, the average height of Japanese men and women is only 150 cm and 149 cm. However, after 60 years looking back, Japan has made a big difference, bringing the average height of men to 172 cm and women to 158 cm. Research results by scientists at the Imperial College London, which were conducted from 1914 to 2014 and published in 2016, show the process of a significant height development of Japan compared to the world. The height of men increased from 187 place to 102, while women increased by 80 to 112. So these figures prove that Japanese are not as short as we used to think, and the stereotype about their height is no longer true anymore. All of the information I mentioned in this video were collected from many sources, and I also put it on my video. Now we will turn to the next part of Linh.
Hi, I'm Khánh Linh. I would like to present about the last stereotype. In Vietnam, hymen design women's virtue. According to the website, I realized that ancient Vietnamese society used to have the belief male chauvinism. It means that the women are naturally less important, intelligent than men. Therefore, women's virginity is put on the top. At that time, any woman who missed her virginity would be extremely punished, because a woman losing her virginity is considered to lose her value or seen as a bad woman. Nowadays, the society of Vietnam has developed and the thought is opener, but Vietnamese culture still dignifies virginity. Many Vietnamese men are quite classical. They still seek perfection and attach much importance to women's virginity. Moreover, some women lost their virginity for being raped. They are harmed spiritually and physically. They are serious obsessed. So they are not confident to start new relationships and get married. Therefore, many women mend their hymen because it makes them be more confident when they get married. This is a way to avoid meltdown and rumble, misfortune and broken marriage, especially for women who are sexually abused. Therefore, I think that this stereotype is not totally true. We need to have deeper understanding about the virginity and hymen definition. Firstly, I will show you a video about virgin and hymen. So, what is a virginity? A virgin is someone who's never had sex, but it's not quite as simple as extreme. That's because sex means different things to different people. So virginity can mean different things too. For example, some people having sex for the first time is how you lose their virginity. Some other has had other kind of sex, like oral sex or anal sex, and they may or may not see themselves as virgin. Move on the hymen. What is the hymen? The hymen is a thin flaccid tissue that's located at the opening of the vagina. The hymen can be stretched open the first time you have vaginal sex, which might cause some pain or bleeding. But this doesn't happen to everyone because there are other ways that hymen can be stretched open, such as riding a bike and doing sports. Once the hymen is stretched open, it can grow back. Moreover, hymen naturally have a big hole enough for period blood to come out. But some people were born with a little hymen tissue that it seems like they don't have a hymen at all. Therefore, it is not fair to silence women if we don't understand about this problem. All information are followed in the link. Furthermore, both men or women will value virginity, but men still have the right to condemn of women no virginity, while women losing their virginity feel guilty with their husband. That's their inequality. For instance, many women suffer from misfortune. Some others have to accept their husband having extramarital relations with other women because they lost virginity. Some others were sexually abandoned by their husband as the penalty for their mistake. To sum up, a woman virtuous should not be associated with her virginity can be forgiven if she have a good characteristic to fill in that lot. Moreover, parents and schools should take responsibility for providing proper sexual education to the young children, which equip them to determine whether or not they want to have sex and gives them the tools to do it safely.
The stereotypes is always one thing that people don't think that is positive. In fact, there are also positive stereotypes, but there are few. Most of them are generally negative, old-fashioned, or backward stereotypes. You can easily see in the previous part of the video that we have put forward 3 stereotypes. African Americans are just butlers and delinquents, so that they cannot be successful. South Japanese in Vietnam, hymen design women's virtue. So, is it really true? Actually, all of them may be true in the past, but not nowadays. The first stereotype is African Americans are just butlers and delinquents, so that they cannot be successful. But you know, the brain determines who you are, not your skin color. A living eyewitness to what I say is former US President Barack Obama. He was a highly successful black man, the 44th President of the United States from 2009 to 2017. He was the first African American to be elected to this position. Like Zhang had mentioned, Japanese people are short in the past, but now the height has improved a lot. And they were short because they had suffered so much loss during the war. They didn't have enough food for many years after that. Nowadays, when the economy and science develop, food is no longer restricted. The Japanese have been able to improve their height. The last one is in Vietnam, hymen decides woman's virtue. The hymen is just a part of a woman's body and it cannot determine the dignity of a person. As Ling said, there are many reasons why a woman doesn't have a hymen, and I won't repeat it. And the way to judge a person is based on a person's thoughts, lifestyles, and actions, not by a body part. Why stereotypes are harmful? If you impose too strong stereotypes on a person, this means that you are isolating him and making him feel isolated. From there, they will force themselves to follow a pattern they don't want. They cannot be themselves. And all this creates a bad influence on their spirits as well as their minds, making things worse and negative. That's why we have the most objective view, not equating, not judging an individual or group without understanding them. Because each country or region has different cultures and different manners, we cannot know what they have experienced or where they have been affected. Take a holistic view and heed your words when talking about a person or a country. Through cross-cultural communication, I learned about many different cultures. Different cultures have different behaviors and ways of seeing a problem. From that, we have to respect all cultures around the world. Moreover, the subject has helped us know which is the bad and give the most accurate assessment for a custom or a person. And what we see sometimes is not as it is going on. As I said, different people in different cultures have different perspectives. I hope you have learned some useful knowledge from our video. And I'm Nhật Lệ from The Big Eyes. Thanks for watching. Bye!